Welcome back to Lego Batman for the Wii. It's as if there's a stud trail to tell me... Alright, I can ground pound, cool.
I will tell you, I have recently been watching something that's pretty good. A lot of people might notice it's pretty popular anime. It's an isekai. And so there's this guy, this middle-aged...
What's it called?
You'll figure it out. There's this middle-aged salary worker.
Jujutsu Kaisen.
Who's at... Yeah, no, it actually is not. This guy actually did fairly well. Like, he got up a decent place in the company. He's a little bit older, but he's like a middle manager. He's not like the CEO or like the big boss. But unfortunately, he's like a hyper wizard because he's pushing, like, he's almost 40 and he has still not gotten laid. As he's walking to work, and like his colleague, recently there was like a girl that came to work, and like his colleague's like, oh, you know, we're dating now, and he was gonna like rub it into his superior's face, like, oh yeah, I had this like, you know, nice kind of good relationship.
No, I rub it in.
But you don't. He kind of knows what's going on, but they're like good friends, so it's like, okay, you know, I'm happy that like you're doing well, man. I'm really like glad that like, you know, you found someone that you really care about. But then like in like the middle of like broad daylight, for no explainable reason in this crowd, a guy runs at our protagonist with a knife and stabs him. Just runs at him with like a knife and stabs him. This isn't even the best part. So like he's lying there bleeding out and everyone's just staring at him. They're like, oh no, oh my god. His whole hand is covered in blood. And he's like bleeding out, and just like the pristine like Shibuya, like, so Shibuya is like the main, Shibuya is like the main like
Shibuzi.
Kind of like the Times Square of like Tokyo.
Oh, okay.
And so like pretty much it's like, imagine like in Times Square, someone just gets stabbed and they're just like lying there like dying. No one's like putting pressure on the wound. No one's putting like pressure on the wound or anything. That's what killed me. Is like literally like he's just sitting there and he turns to his younger colleague, and he's like, I need you to erase my internet history. Listen to me. They're trying to be like console him and be like, please don't die. Oh my god, like how could this happen? And they're like mourning him, and they're like
familiar,
freaking
and that
out.
Concerns me.
They're freaking out. And like, you probably haven't seen it. I've never
seen it, but I'm saying
I've never talked about it with you. Maybe you heard it somewhere else. And so like, no one puts pressure on his wound. He pretty much like bleeds to death. But as he's bleeding to death, he doesn't know, but he's also making his character for his new life in the isekai at the same time he's dying. And so like all like the things so he's like, oh no, like he's been stabbed, so he's like, oh, I'm so hot, so like he gets heat resistance. And he's like, oh no, I'm growing cold, I wish I wasn't so cold. So he gains cold resistance and heat resistance. So he becomes immune to fire and cold damage. And then he's just like, because he's so like mournful that he never had like a relationship with like a woman, and he's like a super wizard. He's like, man, in my next life, I'm gonna like devour, like I'm gonna be like devour someone. So he gains the ability to like devour, because like the character creation scene doesn't understand like the nuance of like what he's saying, that he wants to get like some pussy, and so like it interprets it as like, that's like the longest flight to death. Yeah, no, he interprets it.
Thought I had something there.
The game interprets it as like, oh, you gain the devour skill, where whenever he like eats something, he gains like their abilities. It has like an insatiable like hunger ability to consume things, like anything. He can't feel pain because he's like, man, I wish I didn't have to feel this like immense pain because he's just been stabbed. And so like the game gives him like immunity to pain, so he doesn't feel pain. And so pretty much he dies. And he's like, this sucks. I died like a middle manager, working in Japan, overworked, without any like loving family or having been able to lay anyone. And like, he's actually reincarnated, and he gains all these special abilities. I think he had something where like he didn't want like a body, like a humanoid body. And so when he reincarnates, he's reincarnated as a slime. Do you know like in Dragon Quest? Yeah, no, so you know how like in Dragon Quest there's like the weakest enemy is like the slime, it's like an ooze. So he reincarnates as one of those in a cave. So
like,
he can't like
explicitly the Dragon Quest one, or just
like kind of like literally it kind of looks like you could look up like, so the show is called That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime. And so he reincarnates as a slime in this cave, and so he's like, I can't because you know like slimes don't have like eyes or like he can't taste anything, can't hear anything, can't see anything, can like feel things, and can like shuffle around and like absorb things, because you know like slimes are like oozes, so they like absorb things
Well,
into their body.
As you know too, the anime titles that are stupidly long and like way too much context are always my favorite.
Yeah, so this one, our protagonist is like, okay, what am I gonna do? And so this time, it's like he starts like absorbing whatever he can come across. All these like herbs and plants and like even these crystals, these like magic crystals. And he's like, well, I better like absorb whatever I can find like to strengthen myself. It ends up being that all these herbs are healing potions, and the amount he absorbs, because he has like an endless stomach, he absorbs like hundreds, thousands of these healing items, as well as he absorbs all these like magic crystals that give him like experience points, and he becomes like super powerful. And because his stomach is like limitless, while he's like wandering through this cave, just chilling out, he comes across a dragon that's been sealed in the cave.
It's the quest for the... Damn it.
He's pretty much just like, this is kind of scary. It's like a big giant dragon, but the dragon's trapped, so the dragon can't get out. And the dragon really wants to like escape.
Sorry. When you were like, it's a big giant, my brain was like, and it was Big Chungus. And I'm like, what?
You know what's the... So this is the...
Damn it!
So originally, the main character was voiced by like a guy, like a middle-aged kind of dude.
Not even a voice actor, just some guy.
The funniest thing at the dubbed, because this is the biggest reason I watched it up, because the dub isn't the greatest, but at the same time too, the reason I love it is that the slime has the voice of one of my other favorite characters in anime, like a very goofy character, Misaka, who's like pretty much this like girl with
Titan?
No, so like
is there Attack on Titan?
Yeah, no, there is no. Mikasa is a Attack on Titan character, but like there's another Mikasa in a show called A Certain Scientific Railgun. In this show, there is this like middle school girl who happens to have one of the strongest Esper abilities, where she can shoot like laser beams out of her body and can manipulate
by her body. Where specifically?
Just like.
Is this a Katy Perry?
No,
California
it's just
girl
like
thing,
no.
Or?
So actually, funny enough, like I actually think A Certain Scientific Railgun is better than the mainline series, because series 4 essentially is a side story in the main universe of a certain magical index.
Oh, I need the fucking car.
And like in the actual general series, there's this guy, this high school guy, who like happens to gain the power to block or cancel all magical and Esper abilities. Like, so Espers are kind of like psychics.
Yeah.
Magical and Esper abilities.
There's a Pokemon called Esper.
Yeah, with his right hand. Like, specifically his right hand. And so pretty much our main character, Toma, just goes around in the story just as like a dude, but his like hand can cancel all magic. And there's this girl in the show, Mikasa, who has like one of the strongest Esper abilities in like Academy City. So like there's this city that all like these students in Japan go to called like Academy City. And essentially it's like a city where they do like experiments and they collect like super strong Espers and psychics to like learn in this academy and like prestigious schools in the area. And so like Toma's just kind of in the general ed school, but then manifests this ability to like block all magic and Esper abilities, but also like comes across this nun who he has to like now shelter because she has no home and just kind of ended up in this city because she was running away. And so like there's another character in this show called Mikasa. I like love her voice actress because like she essentially she doesn't just play like I don't think so, but the thing that I think is funny, this is a good explanation of her voice actress, she doesn't just play female characters, she also plays often like little boys. Because she has like a very kind of high-pitched little boy voice.
Oh yeah, I mean,
and so like pretty much she
like
plays
Bart Simpson
the slime. Yeah, so she like plays the slime. And the reason I love this show, there's this little slime jumping around who has that voice actress, and it's like the funniest thing ever. They changed like the dub to make her say a bunch of one-liners and really stupid stuff about video games in this like fantasy world. Again, like the slime comes across this dragon, and the dragon's like, you gotta help me get out of this cave. This powerful summoner hundreds of years ago trapped me in this cave. I gotta get out. And like, he's like, one day I was happening to destroy a city, and then this summoner came and trapped me in this cave. The slime is like, alright, I'll help you out. You seem like a pretty nice guy. You should have learned your lesson after like 100 years, so like, I'll let you out. But they don't know how to bring down the spell that like trapped the dragon. So this guy, instead of taking his like regular name, renames himself Rimuru. The slime Rimuru is like, okay, so this is what we're gonna do. I'm going to swallow you. This giant dragon.
Ladies?
And, you have to understand, Rimuru is like this big.
Okay, so
it's like a slime.
Those at home, I mean, it's basically like...
It's a soccer ball sized thing, and it absorbs a dragon the size of your house.
So Kirby.
Yeah, pretty much. So this, like, think of it like this slime as like Kirby. He swallows the dragon to get him out of the cave, and he has to find a way to get him out of his stomach. Because his stomach is like a black hole.
Again,
And so
oh shit, the Hatter.
he starts to get out of his cave and starts to absorb all these monsters and gain their abilities. And by the time he gets out of the cave, he's like, okay, so I'm finally to see the light of day. But because the dragon was warding off a lot of threats in the region, all the monsters and denizens of like the forest in the region near the dragon are now under threat. And so like Rimuru first comes across this village of goblins that start to worship Rimuru because Rimuru is such a powerful being.
Goblin on these nuts.
Yeah, he's a powerful being. And there's an interesting like system in this world where if like a powerful being names someone, they gain more power. And so like Rimuru starts naming all these goblins after helping them fight off the dire wolves that are attacking them, but doesn't know like naming the whole village of 500 goblins would exhaust Rimuru's magicule particles. Because in this world, there's these things called magical particles that are like source of magic. Essentially, like Rimuru names all these goblins and then they evolve. So like the male goblins become bodybuilders and super jacked, and all like the female goblins become like goblinas.
I've never heard Gobelino.
Yeah, I've never heard goblino before. So they called them like now hobgoblins. I'm like, okay, I've heard about hobgoblins before. But then like the female goblins are called goblinas.
That's ridiculous.
That's
right. He like mind controls you have to like switch to the other hero.
Yeah, like hypnotizes you.
Yeah. This is going a lot better. We kind of jumped into one of the 3 most important boss fights with no practice.
But like after naming all of these like goblins, they become like hobgoblins and goblinas. The problem is that they still don't know how to like build a civilization. Like they still like live out in the middle of the woods, and so they go over. And I'm pretty much like, I think I've already described to you like maybe 4 or 5 episodes.
That's fair.
I've really enjoyed the show just because it's a cute show with like this
Goblin
like
Goonin or whatever.
well, no, I think the thing I like about it is that like Rimuru is building a civilization for all these like monsters in the woods. It has like the normal anime shenanigans, but it's like more lighthearted.
We'll go back to the Batcave because this will be the end of our session. I will say, I love the animes with the dumb titles.
This is an anime with a dumb title that I've been enjoying a lot.
Because
maybe we'll watch it eventually. Because it's a pretty good show. I enjoy it.
Let me rephrase. Whenever I pick an anime, I pick the stupidest title I can find. So we watched Gamers, which was my fucking favorite, until we followed it up with the one that I have to Google because I will never
So you
remember.
never thought there was a girl online?
I always
funny enough, the reason I remember that is that my other friends started watching that.
No, and you thought there was never a girl online.
My friends started watching that and they're like, oh, you haven't seen this, Andrew. I'm like, I've seen it.
I've seen it all.
I've seen it all.
There's one scene, I've tried Googling it and it's impossible to find, but if you ever want to watch bad anime, especially with your friends, watch Gamers, and then, when that's done, watch And You Thought There Was Never a Girl Online. It's like random capitalization, starting a sentence with an and, question mark in the title. All bangers. That's like all the check marks for like the bullshit box for my beautiful scale. I don't want to give too much away of it, but there's one girl who thinks that the game is real, and so like the main character protagonist guy is like, oh wow, the people I play this like fantasy like D&D type whatever role play, more like World of Warcraft type game. All these people are around me in real life. Maybe I should go and meet these people. It's him, 2 other guys, and then his wife. And he's like, I don't know if my wife is a real girl. And so he shows up to the meeting, and all 3 people are women, including the 2 guys.
No, you know what I thought was the funniest thing too? One of the girls that bullies him because he's a
the girl
gamer
who bullies him
is
in
their
the
fighter.
guild. It's so funny.
And then like the class president is like their mage.
God, I forgot that stuff. I just remembered because the blurred lines between the game and real life are very bad for her, and it leads to, I'm not gonna say problematic, but it leads to things that made John leave the room and scream for a little bit, which is fair. There's one scene, it's like the beach episode. There's one scene, and I'm gonna leave you guys with this image. Not the real thing, because I cannot, for the life of me, find a visual of it online. Places like Crunchyroll, you can't like screen grab very easily. It's the beach episode, and they all are like sleeping in the same bed together. That implies like, oh, it's like fan servicey, they're like touchy or so. I shit you not, they are under the covers, laying on their back, head facing the ceiling, not looking at each other.
And that lives in your head.
Evenly spaced between each other in the bed, and it lives rent fucking free in my brain. It is maybe, like, if you could ever get me a cell of any anime, it needs to be that scene with them all evenly spaced in the bed. In a show that's, like, kind of a mess, would definitely go the sexual route. They just straight up have them default T-pose but the arms are down. Evenly spaced in this, like, king-size bed. And it is the funniest fucking thing I've ever seen. You need to watch this show. It's terrible. Next time on this show, we're gonna play more Lego Batman. We'll see you next time. There's also like A Town You Lived, which we never saw, but that title always kills me too.
One day.
One day.